computer IT basis.
It's true, but this is in regard to a question that Glenn had specifically. So, looking at that P list, if you look at it, it's basically a dictionary at the root, and then you've got an array of season objects, right? So the structure you can use to load that is just going to be you load like you do the typical load from a P list that you would use.
We did 2 of those last semester.
Yeah, we did. You see, where's my load from P list here? Okay, so you just read. Basically, you do get the path to the P list, and then you just do an NS dictionary constructor parenthesis contents of path, passing in the path to the P list, and then that loads everything nicely into a dictionary. And then you get an object for key on the seasons, because the seasons is the key that has the array of seasons in it. And then you can load up each one of the individual properties using the object for key. We did it he's right, we did it a couple of times last semester.
Yeah.
And then when you have that, then it's a relatively easy matter, because the logic is real similar to what we did for the in-class collection view controller. You're just going to get the object. Each section is going to be one of the seasons in the array, and then underneath the seasons you have the individual pictures. So there's 6, 7, 8 pictures per season, something like that. 4, okay. And then you're just going to load those into, it's a series of arrays. You're just going to load those. Each section's a season, and underneath that section is the individual images, the items.
I'll have to take another look at it.
All right. Anyway, so.
But to me, they weren't meshing very well.
Oh, they mesh. There's meshing. There's a lot more meshing than there was with the sizzle stick.
Telling that.
I said not
They took a hammer to that thing.
They had to take something like a vice grip something. That's pretty beat up. Okay, so where were we last week? Where were we? Where am I now is where we were. So if you want to open up the mapping, yeah, here all night. Open up the mapping app.
It's like forced comedy. You just can't leave.
That's right. Your captive audience. Oh yeah, the lights.
The door. You know what we found out?
Huh.
When they connect up with Wisconsin Rapids, if Jason talks loud enough in Wisconsin Rapids, they can hear it in each one of these 4 classrooms on the other side of the hall. You know how we figured this? We figured out that they do that? The speaker is right next to the vent.
That's awesome.
And so the vent is actually taking the sound
And amplifying it all the way.
amplifying it into the other 4 classrooms.
Jason
You know-
Stroik?
Strike, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you watch Flash 5 does not mean you need to.
Oh, is that what you wanted to say? Because I think it was another viewer that you were trying to say.
We're recording.
So, have you heard any of Jason's lectures, just out of curiosity, or?
I have not had the pleasure of sitting through any of them.
He's I've known him for some time. He's very verbose.
Yes, I know.
His nickname that I gave him actually when we worked together was Wilson.
Oh God.
And that was because he reminded me of, I don't know if you ever saw Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Yes.
He reminded me of Wilson. It's like you'd ask him a simple question and then you get like a 15-minute expose. Yeah.
We've heard him talk. I mean, he co-teaches with Brent from Rapids.
He what?
He co-teaches.
Oh, okay.
Brent from Rapids, so he'll be in Rapids and Brent will be here, and so they
Okay.
collaborate.
Sure.
Huh?
Like today when he was talking about
Yes.
Yeah. He's
All right. So first thing you should, I'm talking about while I'm being recorded. So anyway, first thing you should probably do is hook up the phone if you haven't already done it, and get it so that it displays as the target in your build target in your project.
and let it lock up.
Oh, 7731. That's That's never mind. I'm not going to say anymore.
I've been trying to press the button every time it dims.
Yeah.
But I missed it that time.
All right. So so in your case, you'd say like Sean Stillson's iPhone, and then in Adam's it'll be Sean's iPhone, I think, or something like that. All right. So yeah, go ahead and run it. Just make sure everything still works. It's been a week. Apple might have changed something. So tonight the plan is what we did last week is we got the map displayed, we got the annotations, we got the we did this search. Search goes out and pulls back the information on the destination, and we created a polyline route. And then tonight what we're going to do is get the individual step-by-step instructions and display those in a table view controller. So it'll be a little review of the table view controller. All right, should have the user location set with an edit field on the top. Okay, so is everyone at that point?
Yeah, mine just finally loaded.
Well, it's still a lot faster than a simulator, isn't it?
Mostly.
Mostly? Well, it should be a lot faster. Of course, you got a little bit older phone there. So everyone's got theirs running. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we need to place a button on our main view controller that's going to allow us to, when they tap it, that's going to allow us to navigate to our directions view. So let's see what this is set at here. Got a little bit of room at the bottom. I'm going to bump that up so we get more room to put that button. So let's see, this guy is set at 46. I'm going to bump this up to 60. All right, so then down here at the bottom, we got a constraint now that's set at 60.
Can you give me a couple seconds? I have this.
Is it possible to make that screen a little bit bigger?
Yeah.
She said put it to 60?
Yeah, put that constraint on the bottom down to the trailing edge. Our bottom layout guide, set that to 60.
I'm not seeing the number.
Yeah.
If you go to the constraints over on the left-hand side and just select bottom layout,
Yep.
then you go to the properties
Is it
inspector.
under constant?
It is the constant, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
For some reason, all this time I thought that always said constraint. You must have been thinking the same thing.
Whatever works. All right, so then
Oh, shit.
we're going to want to put a button on there. So drag a button over underneath the map view.
Is it called button or bouton?
Le bouton.
Not a bar button, right?
Not a bar button, just a regular button. And I'm going to mess with this guy a little bit. Let's see. Title, plain, font. I'm going to go and change this to be italic because we really want to go. We want to give the impression that we're just moving really fast. Let's see. What? Regular. Thin. Just
Italic.
there we go.
I want italic.
If you go, it's one of the system settings. It's actually system italic. It's not under. It's kind of
You said system italic?
yeah.
Under font?
Under font, yeah,
Quick little icon.
The little thing looks like a T.
yeah. The little T box up here.
Is that the only thing you changed?
That's the only thing I changed. And I'm going to change the title to say step by step. All right, so that's our regular command button. For right now, we're just going to leave that guy.
Do we need to link it up?
We have nothing to link it up to yet, so that's the next thing we got to do. I'm going to bump this size down a little bit so you can see more. What we're going to do now is add another view controller. We're going to add a table view controller. So drag a table view controller over onto the storyboard, drop it on there.
They're done.
Sandbar's coming up here. I can feel it.
Confidence, Adam, confidence. You look like a confident man tonight. You've got that, yeah, kind of a machismo sort of look to you. Mr. Machismo. So anyway,
You got that pungent odor about you.
that might have play into it. Hard to say. So anyway, producing pungent odors is a word. All right, so we need to create a class for this guy, for this table view controller. So go over to your project and right-click on the right where am I now folder and do a new file. And this will be a Cocoa Touch, of course. This will be derived from UI table view controller. Yep, and we'll call this directions controller.
Zip file.
No zip file because we're using the storyboard.
Table view, no zip.
No zip.
Your screen is like, I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it this time?
Yeah, it's just basically the same steps. Once we get back to the storyboard, I'll enlarge it again so you can see. But you're just creating a UI table view controller, calling it derived from UI table view controller, calling it directions controller.
With or without a zip?
Without a zib because we're using the storyboard. So the zib is in the storyboard. All right, so here's our directions controller. And so it's got all the boilerplate code in there for us. I'm going to go back to the storyboard now. And this guy, the UI table view controller that we plopped on here, we need to set this guy to be a type of directions controller. All right, so now we have a destination, and because of the fact that this stuff is all embedded in a navigation controller, we got navigation built in, but what we're going to do this time is a little different. Usually with our command buttons, we either have like a toolbar item or something like that, or we navigate from a cell. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to use the button that we placed at the bottom here and do a control drag to our new view controller. And then we're going to create a show segue. All right, so that creates an arrow over to the table view so that when we tap the button, it's going to create a segue. It's called
Is that the top one that's show under action segue?
Yep. And then click on the segue, the arrow itself, and go to the property or the attribute inspector. And we'll give an identifier, we'll say direction segue.
How do you spell segue?
SEGUE.
Yeah, SEGUE.
Any class, anything else in there?
Nope, that should be, cross my fingers, that should be all you need.
We don't have to peek and pop?
Peek and pop.
Look, it says peek and pop.
Underneath.
Preview and commit segues.
Oh yeah.
Peek and pop.
Don't check that. We'll keep this G-rated.
That's what that sounds like.
This is your if you're creating an adult entertainment app, you need to check that guy. So, if anyone from management ever watches these, I'm not going to have a job. All right, so in our directions controller that we created, actually forget that, go to the view controller, the original one. At the bottom of this file, underneath the render for overlay, we're going to create a new method that's actually a method that's built into the framework. So if you type prepare for, actually it's the second method here, prepare for segue is what we need. So hopefully everyone has that available.
And thank you, because I can read that again.
Yeah, sure, that's not a problem. All right, so in the prepare for segue, what we need to do here is we need to, a couple of things. So in our mapping method here, where we're getting, in the show map in app method that we created, we're getting the directions right in there. So what we need to do is we're going to pick this route. We're going to make this guy a variable in the class instead of just a local variable. We're going to make that guy a global variable up here. So we'll create a var. This will be, we'll call it chosen route, the chosen one. That's an optional. And then down here in our show map and app method, where we get the route information. So the route that we're taking is the first route that's returned, which is going to usually be the most efficient route. We're going to say, we have this route that we're going to say chosen route. We might have to prefix, I guess not. Chosen route equals route. And we're pretty safe in saying that because if you get into here, you've got a route that was returned. Otherwise, you'll have to probably prefix that with self, which is what I was thinking, but it was letting me do it. But so if you get into this block of code down here, that means that you came back, there was no error, so we're pretty safe in saying the chosen route is that route. So now in our destination controller, our directions controller, if you go in there, we're going to need to put one in there too. So what we need to do is import mapkit in this one as well. So otherwise it's going to have no idea what we're talking about when we have variable type mk route. So up here at the top we'll do that. Just call it route. All right. So that's the route that we're going to get the directions out of.
Do we need to define any of for the table views, any delegates or anything too for the UI?
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. First we got to get up that we have to set up the navigation stuff. All right, so now back in the primary view controller, go down to the bottom where our prepare for segue method is located. And a segue, this is a UI storyboard segue, has the source and destination view controllers built into it as properties. So we can say let's destination equals segue, dot destination as directions controller. Like that. So what happens is this prepare for segue, whenever you tap on a toolbar item or a button that has a segue associated with it, this guy gets called right before you do the navigation to the destination. So then we can say destination dot route equals self dot chosen route. So these routes have a series of steps in them, and the steps have properties. So we can pull out the information that we want to display in there. So first thing we can do without actually doing anything in the destination is just make sure that this runs correctly. So you can go ahead and run it and pick a valid destination and then tap on the button and make sure it navigates. Or you get the SIGBART. Okay, so if it worked, when you tap on step by step, you should go to a second screen that has the empty cells in it. And you should have a back button at the top.
We should have a what?
What?
Mine does not have a step-by-step. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't have, my button is not on.
I don't have a button.
You do not have a button.
Clearly you guys weren't watching. So does your keyboard stay up there?
No.
No.
Okay, so the keyboard goes away
Yeah, correct.
and you do not have a step-by-step. So,
No.
all right. Then that's a problem with constraints. I'm going to stop this. Do you have a button, Isaiah?
After you type something.
We all followed your letter of the law exactly.
Apparently not.
So is 60 not a big enough one, do you think?
Let's go back to the storyboard and over in here, the map view. So do you guys all have, you should have 1, 2, 4 constraints underneath the map view where it says constraints, you should have 4 of them.
Yep.
And the bottom layout guide,
I just set mine to 80 instead of 60.
all right. You might have to reposition your button too. It might be too close to the bottom or something, or you may have to set a constraint on it. I did not have to set a constraint on mine, but
Yours showed up.
mine shows up, yeah.
Mine still doesn't, so let me try something with the screen.
If it still doesn't show up, then we'll probably have to set a constraint on it. And
Will it only show up after you do a search?
no, it should just always be there.
Okay, mine's not there. Can we use the little TIE fighter?
I tried that, it doesn't really.
No, not with this, because this is going to have to be relative. So it probably isn't going to have a suggested restraint or constraint.
Yeah, I'm not
s-
gonna resist.
Oh,
So what you could do is set a bottom constraint.
when you click the button, it's just supposed to go to like a blank, what is it, table view?
Yep, you should have a bunch of lines.
Put back one.
Yeah. How did you get yours? Just did you set up a constraint then?
I did not. Mine just showed up, but
I set one to the bottom and one to like the,
yeah, that's a good way to go.
but mine is also way over on the left side, so I need to set.
You can center it. You can center it in the. You can just move it over, and then center it in the screen, horizontally.
Okay, so if that's set.
Oh, so it doesn't need to be to the right?
No, it doesn't. You can just center horizontally, and then that way you know it won't disappear off the side. And then the other thing is just set a constraint to probably to the bottom layout guide.
Mine is in the dead center of my page now.
Mine's on the left-hand side.
It's literally step by step is the very middle.
No, you wanna set to the top of, you wanna set the top constraint to like the bottom of the map view.
You could do that too. I'm setting mine to the bottom layout guide. I'm gonna set it to be about 8.
So you did like a vertical spacing is what you did?
Yeah.
Oh, how I love constraints.
Yeah, they're a little slice of fun. Just a little slice of sunshine.
Oh, mine works now. It's just now. It doesn't matter if it's on the right or left, you said, right?
No, as long as you can see it, that's all I care about.
It's like a flash drive. Sometimes you see, sometimes you don't.
In one ear and out the other. That's all I gotta say.
When you
So are you guys all good to go now?
Yes, sir.
Kristen and Glenn, you guys?
Yes. Bestest.
Yeah, I guess so. Supposed to go to blank lines.
Your confidence is overwhelming. Yes, just because we haven't done anything with that
I want it
controller.
in the middle, but it won't.
Do it,
How do you make it a line?
well, drag it all the way up. Drag the control, drag from the,
Oh,
from the button.
But I have this constraint here.
Just, yes, that one's good, but do one, drag up, keep going, down, yeah, there, that's good. And center.
Okay,
oh, Marco.
I feel much better now that it's centered.
Oh, OCD.
First message.
Should be sounded like it was mail or something. All right. Let's see. So you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, if someone sends a video on my phone or my phones, please don't.
Don't click on it.
Please. All right.
Is this part of that peak
Peek and pop.
peak and pop rounds?
No, it is not. All right. So now on our next view controller, our directions view controller, we want to actually display stuff. So what we're going to do is come over to that on the storyboard. And in the directions view controller, select the table view cell. And let's give it an identifier. We'll call it a route cell.
What are we under? I'm sorry.
On the destination one,
Yep.
you want to select the view cell, the table view cell.
On the
Oh, I need to
directions
find
controller.
Table view cell. Okay, gotcha.
And then set the identifier to be route cell.
Route cell.
That's the reuse identifier. Yeah, it's a route.
I thought we put it to something else.
No, we haven't called it anything yet.
Oh, we haven't. Okay.
That was for the control.
Yeah, that's the controller itself.
Okay.
All right, then you maybe copy it because then we're going to also set that in the code. And so, let's see, in the directions controller. All right, first of all, let's see. So we have our route, which we called cleverly route. Number of sections can be set to 1. We'll just have one section, series of steps. Number of rows in section, that will be route.steps.count. So steps is just an array of steps. So it looks something like that.
Interesting.
Let me put an exclamation after round.
Yep, me too.
That's all right.
I don't have one, and I didn't,
Do you have yours as listed as an optional?
oh,
All right. It's probably just a difference in Xcode.
I didn't put it in parentheses.
Me neither.
That's okay. Whatever syntactically works so it doesn't give you an error is what we're going for. That's our objective.
Okay, right.
Just make it not error. All right, then we need to find our cell for row at index path, which is right here. Got to uncomment it.
Cell for row.
Right now it's probably commented out.
And moved row at, moved row
What's the next one?
It's the next thing.
Okay, so in here, you can see there's our reuse identifier. We want to change that to what you put in the storyboard, and if you copied it, you can just do Command V or whatever, and it will paste it in there.
But it needs to be in the quote.
Yep, it has to be inside the quotes.
Row, set.
And that is just a regular UI table view cell. We didn't create any custom cell for it. But what we will do is go back to the main storyboard, and in here, again, select the prototype cell. Nice. That's pretty sweet.
Was that yours or was that Sean's?
That was.
Totally was Sean's.
I'm jealous, actually. I wish. Yoda rocks, man.
Glad my phone didn't go off. I cannot see what you're under.
Okay, so you want to select the cell, the route cell over here in the scene, so that it's selected.
Whoa.
Okay.
And then in the property inspector or the attribute inspector, the little typewriter arrow thing, change the style from custom up here to be subtitle. This could be. So when you do that, it should look something like that. You should have a title and a subtitle underneath it. Okay, everyone good? All right. Then go back into the code in the directions controller. And this is where we're going to configure our cell. All right, so now we have the table view cell has been dequeued. The next thing we can do is say cell.text label dot text. And that is going to be equal to the route dot steps at index path dot row. So that gets us the step, and within the step there are some properties, and the one we want are the instructions. And I gotta add a question mark, and that's still not good enough.
Mine added the question mark thing as well as going. Very interesting.
All right, so these MK route objects have steps, and within the steps there's distance, there's instructions, there's some other stuff. So what we want to do now is, so that sets the main title in here. So if you look, going again and looking at the prototype cell, that set the title. Now the subtitle is going to be the distance. We're going to set that to be the distance. Now that's a little bit trickier because the distance is in terms of feet. You can set it, if you do it metric, it can be meters. By default, in American directions, they're in feet. So we have to convert that to miles. Otherwise, you're going to have, if you're going to Milwaukee, it's going to be like, 200 million feet or something. It'd be crazy. So we want to convert that to something that's a little more user readable. So what we're going to do is create a double variable. We'll call it D for double distance. Dis equals route dot steps index path dot row dot direction, or dot distance, is it? Yeah, dot distance divided by 5,280. That'll give us the distance in terms of miles. Alright, that's good with the rest of it. So that gives us a double. Next thing we want to do is format that. So unfortunately, if you just did that the usual way we format stuff with the backslash, parenthesis, inside quotes, you're going to get like 18 digits, and we don't want that either. So what we're going to do is we're going to format that. I'm going to create an sdis variable, which is a string, and use a string constructor. And in the constructor, it's really goofy. You have to type it out, format. Here's what we want. We want string with the format parameter and arguments. The format we're going to use, we're going to format it out to 3 digits precision. So we use %3F, which stands for float. It's like an old throwback. And then the variable that we're formatting is ddis. That gives us a string with it formatted. Then we can say cell dot detail text label is the subtitle. Why they didn't just call it subtitle, I don't know. They call it detail text label. But anyway, there it is. Dot text is going to be equal to the string distance plus, we'll put miles in there with a space in front of it. And then to make it pretty it up a little bit for them, we can say cell.detail text label dot text color equals the color of your choosing. I'm going to go with blue. UI color.
Mine is not like
And then return cell. And
that.
then
Oh,
we're
can you go
good.
back there? I'm not in here. So can't subscript value of type mkload stop. No, I got it. I just haven't got a chance to type. Otherwise, we bother me. Oh, they're just moving. That's not.
Wait, your wife or my wife? Since you have my phone.
He's got both.
Well, I'm sexting your wife. I'm just talking about it, so.
Remember, this is recorded.
Yeah,
Still sick.
Watch YouTube.
Penis.
All right, so did you get it, Adam?
I think so.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to run it.
Running just as fast as we can.
Nope, mine gives an error still. Float, steps, index path. Oh, missed it. Down row. Okay.
Good catch. We didn't want Isaiah to get.
Oh, and the phone just texted. She's responding.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then if you tap the step by step, you should get the directions and the.
Do you get lots of weird numbers and letters that show up on Xcode?
Lots of weird numbers
Whoa.
and letters.
Yeah, Glenn knows what I'm talking about.
Exception breakpoint.
Mine is working, mine is working.
Trap.
All right, Kristen gets an A. The rest of you fail miserably.
Well,
All right.
it says 0.0000 miles.
Yeah, for some reason, my formatting is not working as expected.
Mine's not doing anything right now. Where's the back button?
You don't get the back button until you click on the button,
It's on the top, yeah.
until you click step by step.
I did. I got this. Stop.
You do. You got that too?
Yeah,
What do you get?
lots
It's like-
of purple and white letters, numbers.
Did you hit the
Like
step by
on
step
the
first?
computer screen.
Yeah, if you hit step by step first, you're gonna have
Did
issues.
you type in a address?
No, I hit
That
step
might
by
do it.
step.
Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna type in an address
If
to
you
get a
just,
route.
if you just hit the button, it looks like this.
Yeah, you're in assembly code there.
Yeah,
You're in no man's land.
it breaks.
We could set that disabled until you.
Trying to take all the shortcuts, guys.
Yep.
Can we like,
I mean, if you tried to give directions to nowhere, what do you think you'd get?
Dude, we so have to like do decimal rounding or something. in this thing.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought format was, cause I'm getting 0.176515 miles.
Yeah, I know. I got a bunch of decimals. I'm not sure why that's not working.
Can we put an if statement in there saying that like, if ddis is like greater than 1,000.
You can format it.
Divide it by 5,280, otherwise leave it in feet.
You could do that.
Yeah, because my destination's probably only 6 miles away.
Well, 6 miles you'd want to have anything less than a mile. You'd probably want to do it. Yeah, but First thing we probably want to do is create a variable for our button so that we can disable it. So I'm going to select that view controller
Stop.
and go to the assistant editor and see what it brings up. It's the interface.
Which editor are you in?
What was it supposed to bring up?
It should not bring up the interface, it should just bring up the source file. So you want the view controller, and we do not have a variable for this guy yet. So I'm going to control drag from my step-by-step and create one. Call mine button steps. Call that whatever you like. And then I'm going to go into my view did load. And I'm going to.
the main control.
Yeah, I'm in the view controller. Yeah, the main first one. Oh, what is it? Apple button steps dot is enabled. I'm going to set is enabled to be false. And then after they hit enter and they get their directions, text field should return. If it's not an error, then down here we can enable it.
We wanna do it right before we turn true?
Yeah, you can do it. Let's do it in here in the show map in app. Let's have it get completely shown, because otherwise it'll pop as enabled while it's still loading the map, and then you can do some, still do some damage. So show map in app in here. We can set it like right after it sets the region on the map.
Well, you went to someplace else. Do the show map option?
in app.
I'm in the show map in app, yeah.
So you want us to do it at the end of that one then?
Button steps, yeah, I'm gonna set that dot is enabled equals true.
It's
So instead of at the
telling me
top,
to do
or
so.
both?
And both, so when you come into the app, in the view did load, it should be false.
In the view did load.
So here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to do multiple searches in this, right?
Yeah.
So do we wanna,
Show map
every time they,
Always
before they search, do we wanna keep
under the last
disabling it
column.
and renaming it?
Yeah, you could do that.
I'm just wondering, it should be fine after the first time, you shouldn't get all the.
Yeah, once you've got a route, you won't get the SIGBART, it'll go ahead and run. So it should be fine to leave enabled as long as they have a valid route.
Now I get a Sigbert.
I have an error somewhere. Oh, enable is true. Oh, self dot hit button steps is enabled true, so I had to put in there. Self dot button steps is enabled equals true?
Yeah, so it should be grayed out when you first come into it.
Mine gave me a Sigbert.
Sigebert,
Should. Let's clean it.
mine worked.
Yep, so should start off gray, and then as soon as the map gets displayed, it should turn to blue, and then you're good to go.
So now we're gonna format that out a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta figure out first of all why that's not. Maybe it's no longer percent signed
I'm
app.
getting a Sigbert.
Sigebert.
Well, you do have an outlet created, right? You have an outlet for your button.
Yes, can I rename it from inside the view controller?
I would just delete it probably. Delete the outlet and start over.
Okay. That would
So the button supposed to turn gray?
It starts out gray.
After you do your search and you get a map come up, it'll turn blue. If it's coded right.
No, mine didn't do that. Mine looks exactly the same as it did before.
Okay, so in your view did load, you need to disable it. So you set is enabled equals false. Then down in your show map and app
Still doesn't have to.
Yeah?
in here, so you get down to the directions and it's getting the calculations, and then it shows the last thing is the map set region, and then after that I say self.button steps dot is enabled equals true.
Right. I had that. So
Hmm.
the only thing I did, well, I didn't have false at the top,
Yeah, that's what.
so that's why.
Raise it all.
Yeah.
It says you can go in there and define the formatter with maximum integer digits. This shit.
I'm still getting a Sigerbert.
You're not using your text field, are you, by chance? By accident? You're using your button?
What do you mean?
Well, we have a couple of variables. We have the map view, we have an edit field, a text field, and we have the button.
No, I'm,
When are you getting the SIG Bert?
on low,
On the load? Okay, then there's something wrong with the outlet.
and I deleted
What did you say?
it and redid it. Because, I wanted to rename it,
Okay.
so that, because initially I named it just steps. And I
Right.
didn't know if I was gonna have problems with that.
So let's go into
So
your.
it is saying, it says it's wired here.
Click on that guy, your button, and then go to, you have a segue. I don't see an outlet though. Scroll down. You have a reference outlet down there. Yeah, two. So you got to delete the second one. You got to delete not that one else. Yep. Just click on the X.
Not that.
Not that.
Okay,
So go back to you deleted it completely.
yeah.
Try doing a Command Z. All right. So now click on it again.
Seriously? That's all.
And then scroll down and just click on that little X. All right, now try.
Oh, if you change that 3 to a 0.2f, it does the proper float, it doesn't float.
Is it really?
Because then you get this. If you change it from 3 to 0.2.
Good. All right, let's give that a go.
Where was that?
It's kind of weird. The format in the second view controller and the self,
My step by
Change it
step
from-
button didn't come back.
Say it
though.
was 0.2.
Just change the
did you
3 to
set the
0.2.
is enabled to be true in your,
Oh, I
And that changes
just
how
copied it.
2 decimal places.
Wait, is there still a percent?
Yeah, percent 0.2f is what the
0.2f?
percent
that might be,
decimal.
yeah, I forgot the period, so if
Oh,
we
I
do a
didn't have
0.3,
Yeah, the 0.3 would give 3.
yeah, I missed the period. That's what the issue was.
In the second
Yeah, a little bit quiet.
I wish it remembered like
My address.
my address, yeah. I
True
mean,
story.
Well, there's a way you can do that.
Of course.
that there is.
So, Sean,
Mhm.
are we gonna probably go close to 8 tonight?
Yeah,
Any way I could beg for it to be a little earlier tonight?
sure. That'd be kind of fun to watch. What do you have in mind?
Please, Sean.
His wife is Adam.
Like 10 quarter till?
Oh yeah, we can do that. All right, so yeah, well, moving right along though, so we can go ahead and do that.
Valentine's Day was yesterday.
Yeah, did you miss it?
Like it's a 3 hours at the racing? I didn't wanna see something.
Oh.
Four nasty rams of.
You got the Pinewood Derby tonight?
For part of it, and then Pinewood Derby on Saturday, yep.
How late does your meeting go?
This is not Cub Scouts tonight, this is for Owanas, this is a church thing.
Oh, okay.
So they have, the Cub Scout one's Saturday, so I get to reuse the cars twice. And then the Thursday.
So then you get to like fine tune it and
So this is like a test run.
so did you build it or did he build it or did you do it
Oh,
together?
they totally built it.
Where'd you buy it?
Loaded with lead.
Did you? Cause
Graphite
when
and
we
better tires.
we glued washers on it, and we were running it, some of the washers fell off.
You drilled holes in and I used sinkers. And I filled the whole
Yeah.
back in with sinkers all the way back and super glued them in.
I used to have a guy in our pack that would take lead and he had like this special little like cauldron thing and he would melt it
Yep.
and then pour it in. He had this mold and he'd pour it in.
Yep.
And then he altered the wheelbase. So after he did all this, like his father-in-law was a machinist. His father-in-law machined the car, moved the grooves, made sure they were true and perpendicular and all that. And I mean, you know, they won easily, but it's like after that we're like, okay, we're going to change the rules. No, none of that's, you know, wheelbase modification. And
That's the only thing you're not allowed to do is wheelbase modification, but you get special axles.
you can shave the tires. You can shave the tires so they're like a
Well, you technically cannot adjust the tires at all. That's
well.
one of the Cub Scout ones.
There's different. Every pack has their own set of rules, though. So
There's special axles. We just drilled out the whole back of it and I just filled the whole thing with lead and then super glued it in the back so that way if I is overweight I can pull it off
yeah,
Is it better if it's the weight's in the back or the front?
right on the rear axle.
back.
Yeah.
Right on the rear
Yeah,
axle?
you want it back axle. In the front you get a really fast start, but it slows down at the end. In the back you start off slower but you end up going faster.
It's like a slingshot effect.
And then you can actually, if you bend the wheels
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, cause less friction, it goes actually faster.
It toes in, yeah.
Graphite, different kinds of graphite, there's different wheel bases. You can spend like $50 on a car.
I know,
Yeah, no,
yeah, we built two of them,
I built two.
we
This
weren't
year.
anywhere close to.
Built two this last 2 weeks.
Okay, well, we should probably so we can get you out of here earlier.
Yes, please.
Let's get rid of this in the cell for a road index path. We'll get rid of the divide by 5,280.
Now you wanna get rid of that?
Yep, and then we can say, we'll create a line after that. Man, just get rid of all this crap. I don't want to see it. So we can say is d dis equals, and d dis is less than 5,280. True case is d dis. False case is d dis. Oops, dis divided by 5,280.
The only issue you've got with that is your miles.
True.
Can we get,
And we could do something like
can
this.
you do d-dis plus the miles in the first one and then d-dis divided by 5,280 plus feet in the?
What we have to do is we got the distance. We're still going to have to format it out based on whether it's less than or equal to. So we can't do anything with this guy. What we can do is say cell text equals. We can do something similar here. D dis as that's okay. So we're can't really do that either. Oh yeah, we can do that. D dis is less than 1 here. So if it's less than 1, we can say feet, or no, miles. No, that's still not going to work because distance could be multiple miles. Nope, that's not right. So what we're doing is we're just taking a fraction now. That's going to, we can't do it that way. So Yeah, we'll have to do a conventional. All right. So if
Do you wanna get rid of the whole DGIS, the one above?
just chill now, we're good. Command C, I'm going to copy this stuff up here. Distance is less than. What did we say? 5,280. SDIS. Let's do this. Let's say var appendage equals miles. And then if it's less than 5,280, we set appendage equals feet. And then down here we'll just say, oh, we gotta get rid of this. Like that. Why is it not liking this?
Oh, you've got to actually create a variable. Doesn't like the routes, you have to create a variable for that route. The variable blah 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 equals that.
Yeah, but this should be a double. I don't know why it's.
Mine just disappeared now. So
CL location and int. It's not. It's not an int. Now what don't you like?
Why can't you just use DDoS?
Because we just did this up here. Can't use the original one. So I'll do this. Create a new variable. Say ddis here. And then down here we'll format this out with dfinal. Yeah, okay, that should work.
so
I'm still getting an error, it says, did I make fun
You're gonna want space.
It says use of unresolved identifier appendage.
You want appendage.
so instead of miles, you want appendage, then, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it looks okay. I probably would want.
You didn't put
I would probably change the format.
he's got, right
My
above
0.3 is too much. I think I just go 0.2.
Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of errors now. Let's see.
space.
Variable DDIS. So mine starts if DDIS is where mine starts with yours. If DDIS. I'll get it.
Oh, help.
No.
We wanna be here to help you.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it being picky that I have it too close together? Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Stupid. Why? No, this is wrong.
Figured that out, yeah, Dave, it's just SDIS plus 87 feet, 63 feet, 2.76 miles. There you go.
Do you get it?
Good.
Vote for our team.
No, cause I had to help Kristen. It's even. I had to help.
Actually, if you wanna help somebody that's more plates. Come on.
No, I would've figured it out.
Thanks.
I would've figured it out, I just hadn't got there yet. Sometimes I ask prematurely.
So if you really wanted to be fancy with it, I'm not gonna do this, but if you really wanted to be fancy with it, you could format it out so that if it's less than 1,000 feet, you'd format it as feet. If it's more than 1,000 feet but less than 5,280, you'd do it as a fraction of a mile, and then over that you'd go, like miles. But
But.
we're not gonna do that
Go.
because that's just formatting stuff. So all right, so that's basically it. If it works, then we're good with that. We're done with that.
Yay!
I assume everyone's got theirs working. Yes, true.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Then we're done with mapping. Expect an assignment coming out soon.
Dun, 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 dun.
And so you got a little map app. So one of these apps at the end of the semester will actually publish to the store. We got to make something that is relatively, somewhat, a little bit original so that we don't get it rejected. But I'm going to stop recording so it doesn't blow up on me.